Hey guys, Nikki here, and welcome to another edition of Calling the Card, where I try to predict wrestling's biggest cards weeks in advance. Now, normally this is just a WWE series, but with Ultima Lucha just around the corner, it's only 5 weeks away, and as of the time of this recording, I don't think that it's actually been announced yet on any of the sites or anything, but I believe that Ultima Lucha will be taking place on June 22nd, which is exactly 1 month from today as of time of this recording. So, Ultima Lucha is coming up. It's got about 4 weeks left of build. I think it would be a perfect time to do a little bit of calling the card and trying to predict where they are going to be going, or at least what my best case scenario card would be. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the card. Now, from what I'm hearing, Ultima Lucha this year is going to be taking place over 3 nights. So we're going to structure this like 3 episodes of the show that is leading towards the big main event. So we start off with the first episode, and the first match of which is going to be a number 1 contenders match for the Lucha Underground Championship. This is not involving Gift of the Gods. Number 1 contenders matches imply that Dario gets to decide when the matches are going to be, while Gift of the Gods is up to the holder's discretion. So, there's that. And the participants in this match, it's a fatal 4-way between Texano, Son of Havoc, Aerostar, and Drago. These are the 4 biggest guys on the roster that really don't have that much going on, but are still big enough names that they could reasonably challenge for the title. And there's some good stories in there. Son of Havoc is now down 2 partners, so he might as well go off on a singles run, see what he can do by himself. Drago and Aerostar keep getting put into these matches together despite being friends, and there's this kind of cool chemistry that they've got going. And Texano's basically been the boss of the mid-card this season. I think he's only been pinned like twice this season, once under very dirty circumstances when the crew held down his legs, and the other time during Aztec Warfare by Matanza. So, I think the winner of this match will end up being Texano. He's really impressed this season, and I think that a match between him and the champion after tonight, sometime in Season 3, would be pretty fun. Next up, we get more of the storyline involving Joey Ryan and Cortez Castro. At some point, Cortez hears some really incriminating shit. It's the kind of thing that if Cortez goes to the cops about it, they have enough evidence to arrest him. So he goes up to Joey Ryan and says, "Joey, I've got the evidence we need to convict Dario Cueto. Let's get the hell out of here." But Joey Ryan, on the other hand, has become completely enraptured in the experience of Lucha Underground. He has pretty much forgotten his mission. He's just there for the glory, the money, and the women at this point. So he's just like, no, let's milk this out for a little while. Let's have some fun here. When Cortez tells him no, Joey beats the tar out of him backstage. Mr. Cisco finds Cortez Castro in a heap, and he wants a pound of Joey Ryan's greasy flesh. So Cisco announces that he wants a handicap match at Ultima Lucha where they can beat the grease off of him. But before that match can be set into stone, Joey Ryan gets into the ear of Dario Cueto, and Dario says, if you can find a partner that's willing to put up with your shenanigans, then we'll make it a tag team match. And then he's boasting that he's found a partner, but he refuses to mention who he is, and at Ultima Lucha, it's revealed to be Kobra Moon. Now, in the most recent episode, episode 17, Kobra Moon got her skis on with Daga, and Daga was like, no. So, some might say that this is going to lead to a thing with Daga and Kobra Moon. I think this is more just Kobra Moon trying to find a partner, if you know what I'm saying by partner. And if Daga isn't willing to play ball, then she'll just find someone else. So, next couple of episodes, she's getting her groove on with some other wrestlers. They say no. And then at Ultima Lucha, Joey Ryan and Kobra Moon come out together. Ooh, that's gonna be gross. But it's a match made in heaven, I feel like. And when we get to the match, Joey Ryan and Kobra Moon win. Specifically, Joey Ryan pins Cortez Castro because life is sometimes a dick like that. And then, the first main event of Ultima Lucha, Team Mysterio versus the team of PJ Black, Jack Evans, and Johnny Mundo. And this is for the Trios Championships. At some point, PJ Black and Jack Evans come up to Dario Cueto and say, We want another shot at the Trios Gold. We are the last team eliminated in the 4-way elimination match, and now that Team Havoc is pretty much dead, we feel like we should be the next in line for a title shot. Dario asks, well, what about Fenix? Wasn't he on your team? And Jack just blows him off, just like, we didn't need that little birdie. But, we have found a third man, and we found somebody way better than Fenix. And in walks Johnny Mundo with Taya by his side. And Dario seems to be pretty impressed by this, so he's like, cool, like the sound of this. I'm going to put you guys in a number 1 contenders match tonight. You guys are taking on the Mack, Sexy Star, and Killshot. If you win, you get the Trios champions at Ultima Lucha. So we get to the match. The number 1 contenders match. It's the main event of an episode. Johnny Mundo ends up picking up the win via a distraction, which we will get to when we talk about Killshot, Mack, and Sexy later. But either way, for right now, we have the match Team Mysterio versus Team Mundo. And the winner is Team Mundo. Johnny Mundo picks up the win after a miscommunication between Azteca and Mysterio. Remember, Azteca is still really green in terms of Lucha Underground. He's still pretty new. And there could be a little bit of a miscommunication. They botch something, and Azteca ends up costing the team the titles. Now, nobody gets too upset, except maybe Mysterio. He's got a little bit of... Dang it, this rookie just cost me the titles. But he doesn't quite go bad. We saved that for a little later down the road. Sometime in Season 3, though. Sometime in Season 3, the unthinkable will happen, and Rey Mysterio will turn heel. It's hard to imagine, but if one company can pull it off, I feel like it's Lucha Underground. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to do some really nefarious shit, but I think Mysterio turns heel in Season 3. But the first episode of Ultima Lucha ends with Mundo, Black, and Evans holding up the Trios titles, and Mysterio walking off in disappointment. We begin the second night of Ultima Lucha with another big match, Chavo Guerrero defending Gift of the Gods. Now, in episode 18, the next episode coming up as time of this recording, Chavo Guerrero is set to face off against Cage for Gift of the Gods. And in this match, I think Chavo wins by the skin of his teeth. There's lots of shenanigans, and he basically bullshits his way to a win. And this gets Chavo Guerrero feeling pretty high and mighty. He just beat the baddest MFer on the card, so he issues an open challenge for Ultima Lucha. Anybody who wants to step up to the plate, Chavo is throwing down the gauntlet. And who is the one who answers the call? But our old friend, Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr. has completed his hardcore training with Vampiro. His body has healed, and he is ready to get back at Matanza. And what better way to do so than by getting the Gift of the Gods Championship, which gives him a one-way ticket to a match with the champion, who is probably still going to be Matanza. So, it's a perfect match. And the match is brutal. Pentagon plasters Chavo's body all over the arena. He shows that he is healthy and he is ready to make another run at the title. He wins the match, and just for good measure, he breaks Chavo Guerrero's arm. Pentagon Jr. is back, and he is the new Gift of the Gods champion. Next up is a trios match between Sexy Star, the Mack, and Killshot versus Marty the Moth, Mariposa, and Daga. Why Daga, you ask? Well, I'm thinking that there's going to be a match between Daga and Marty the Moth at some point. Daga is closing in on a victory, but then they get double teamed by Mariposa and Marty. Beam, beam, bam, 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 bam. They absolutely beat down Daga and drag his lifeless body to the back, and he's not seen for a little while. Then we get to that Trios Tournament number 1 contenders match. The Mack is looking like he's about to close in on a win when all of a sudden Marty and Mariposa come walking down. They cause a distraction, and Evans is able to get the win by a roll-up. After the match, and after Mundo's team have all walked out, Daga runs in from behind and beats the heck out of the Mack. Then Marty and Mariposa run in the ring too. Bam, bam, bam. They're beating the holy hell out of people. Marty taunts Killshot with his dog tags, like jingles them in front of his face. And then he hits him with a curb stomp, and they are reigning over these guys. And Daga has been brainwashed. He is now aligned with Marty and Mariposa, which leads to the 6-man tag at Ultima Lucha. It is a battle. There is a lot of anger between these people. Most of the people have issues with everyone else in the match. And in the end, Killshot picks up the win. Killshot gets his dog tags back, and Sexy Star and the Mack don't have to worry about Marty or Mariposa ever again. All is right in the world. Then we get to our second main event of the show, King Cuerno versus Mil Muertes. Muertes has been revived at this point. Katrina has used her magic, and she has brought Mil Muertes back to the realm of the living. And he is not too happy that King Cuerno has decided to make Mil Muertes his trophy. So, to make an example out of him, he challenges him to a match at Ultima Lucha, and it is brutal. He just beats the holy hell out of King Cuerno. Just bam, bam, bam. He is out there to make an example out of King Cuerno, to show the rest of the roster, do not F with me, I am a bad man. He hits him with a flatliner, but then he doesn't pin him. He picks him back up, hits him with another flatliner, and then, just for good measure, one more time. At this point, he's basically lifting up Cuerno's corpse to hit a third flatliner. Cuerno is kill. He is so dead. And then he picks up the win. Katrina does the lick. Muertes is badass. And the show ends with them standing tall. And now we begin the final night, the third episode of Ultima Lucha, the Season 2 finale. Here we go. We're starting off with Fenix versus Siniestro de la Muerte. Now, before the match, Siniestro de la Muerte is getting ready in the back. And who should pop up? Lights go out. Katrina is on one side. Mil walks in from the other. And they talk about how Mil was successful at Ultima Lucha. He beat his opponent, and he beat him badly. And now Katrina was expecting the same out of Siniestro. And at this point, Katrina is not the biggest fan in the world of Siniestro de la Muerte. He has basically botched every chance that he's had. Like, they failed as the Disciples of Death, and now, after Katrina basically ensured that he got into the Gift of the Gods match, Siniestro de la Muerte didn't even win the thing. So Siniestro's on thin ice at this point, and she throws down an ultimatum. Either you kill the Phoenix, or I will kill you. Phoenix has basically been the source of most of the problems for Team Death this season, so it makes sense for Katrina to tell Siniestro, get him. So we get to the match, and Siniestro is fighting for everything he's got. His life is basically on the line at this point, so he is throwing everything he's got at Siniestro. He is kicking out of everything. He is fighting tooth and nail, to the point where the crowd might start actually getting behind Siniestro. Let's go, Siniestro. Unfortunately, though, it's not enough, and Fenix picks up the win, walks off happily. Siniestro is kind of freaking out in the ring, and Katrina leaves in a huff. Then we get a little bit of levity. We've been kind of going a million miles an hour so far. Let's bring it down just a little bit with a match between Mascarita Sagrada versus Famous B. Now, the union so far between Mascarita and Famous B has not gone very well. Sagrada keeps just getting destroyed. He got murdered by Cage, and then he got beaten up by Cobra Moon and served on a silver platter to Daga. It was weird. But it's just not working, and Sagrada is getting the short end of the stick a lot of the time. Har har har, short joke. But Famous B is determined to make this guy famous. And he's talking to Mascarita, and he's like, I'm running out of options. I'm trying to make you famous, but it's just not working. I've got one more trick in the bag, though. At Ultima Lucha, you need a big-name opponent. You need somebody who, if you beat, you're going to be famous. And who is that opponent going to be? Well, me. I'm going to come out of retirement for one match, and after it's over, I promise, I'll make you famous. Undertaker reference, yeah! So we get to the match. It's just kind of a comical little thing. Mascarita versus Famous B. Imagine what that's going to be. It's basically going to be that. Mascarita does a lot of fun stuff and picks up the win. and after the match is over, Famous B looks like he's going to be mad. He grabs Mascarita by the arm, lifts it up, and is like, I told you I'd make you famous. Ding! And after that little nice bit of brevity, we go to the back to watch someone die. Siniestro de la Muerte is being brutally destroyed by Mil Muertes. Mil Muertes throws Siniestro into a locker, and then Katrina grabs him by the throat, lifts him up, and takes the life out of Siniestro de la Muerte. She has now basically absorbed the power of all three of the disciples. She is now really, really powerful, which means sometime in Season 3, she and Mil are going to be badasses once again. Perfect. And now we come to our final match. The ultimate match of the season. The main event of Ultima Lucha. Matanza versus Cage. The monster versus the machine. This is perfect billing for this mega match. You take two people, one who's a heel, one who's a babyface, and you just don't have them lose. You have them win all of their matches. You have them booked like gods, in this case almost literally, and you just have them fight in the biggest match of the show at the end of the season. It's perfect billing. This is how they used to do things, and it was great. Cage has looked unbelievably strong this season. They have built him and built him and built him and built him, and he is now the baddest man in Lucha Underground. And Matanza, they've been building him for a season and a half. They've had him literally kill people. This is a match that I've wanted to see for a while, and they're already starting to sow the seeds for it. During the medallion ceremony before the Gift of the Gods match, Dario Cueto could have just as easily said, Chavo, give the man his medallion back before he eats you. But he didn't. He just said, nope, you lose. Haha, lol. And I feel like that when Chavo beats Cage, there's going to be a lot of shenanigans in the match, and Dario or Matanza might be involved in those shenanigans. So after the match, he goes ballistic. He wants revenge, and he wants to beat the hell out of Dario because he's the one who's facilitating all of this. So Matanza comes in to save his brother, and the match is set at this point. Matanza versus Cage for the title. Oh shit, son. Two freight trains on a collision course. It's going to be a war. Throughout the match, they're both trying to hit their finishers, but they just can't do it. Matanza keeps trying to go for Wrath of the Gods. Cage goes for Weapon X a lot, but neither of them can do it. But they do hit their secondary finishers a whole bunch. Matanza hits a bunch of suplexes and maybe a standing shooting star press, while Cage murders him with discus clotheslines and pile drivers. It is a nasty match. They are just going all over the place, beating the hell out of each other, and it is fantastic. And finally, after a 25-minute match, both men are near exhaustion, but Matanza herks him up and hits him with Wrath of the Gods. 1, 2, 3. Matanza retains the title. He and Dario Cueto stand tall, and it looks like they are on top of the world, when all of a sudden, the police arrive and start arresting everyone. Dario Cueto gets arrested, Matanza gets tased, Matt Stryker and Vampiro get brought in, Cage gets brought in, Melissa Santos gets arrested, maybe even a couple of fans get arrested. Everyone gets put into jail. And it looks like the show is being shut down. And then, from the back, you see a mysterious figure with a cigar. He's watching all of this go down, and he walks out of the ring smoking his cigar. Come the start of Season 3, that man will have used his connections to have the charges against Dario Cueto dropped. They're building up that guy as somebody who has a lot of power and is willing to use that power basically however he sees fit. So basically, Season 3 will revolve around that guy, whoever he may be. I don't know who he is yet, but it should be fun. My prediction, I'm just throwing this out there, I think it's Marty and Mariposa's dad, because Marty keeps talking about how he comes from a family of really rich people, like he comes from a family of power and money, and I don't know, I feel like that'd be a good way to build those two back up, because after Season 2, they aren't doing a whole hell of a lot, so have Marty and Mariposa by their dad's side, and yeah, I think this works. So that is my best case scenario card for Ultima Lucha. I think everything pretty much makes sense. You got a whole bunch of great matches, a lot of great build. It's good stuff. So with that, I think we're just about done here. I'll see you guys later.